During a disaster, there's a good possibility that power may be interrupted. Now, for decades, emergency backup power usually came from traditional fuel generators, gasoline, natural gas, diesel, or liquid propane. While conventional fuel generators have a lot of advantages, they also have several limitations. Recently, the price of fuels increased. Also, not everyone lives in an area where they can safely run a traditional generator or even store the fuel in sufficient quantities. Although there are many more issues, these alone can exclude a sizable population from having emergency backup power. Well, today, we're going to show you that a decent emergency backup power unit is available to everyone, and I'm going to talk to you today about the EcoFlow Delta Max and its 160 watt solar panel. Let's check it out. Alright folks, welcome back. So I wanted to show you this today because this is probably one of the largest power stations that I have tested as of late. This has a unbelievable, 2016 watt hours. This thing is like approaching the utility of an actual gas fuel generator. As a matter of fact, it's probably better than most of the little ones of that size. So it's definitely a cool item to have. You know, these are not cheap again, but they are within the correct price range of what you would expect to pay for something like this. Now behind it, back there, we'll show you outside when we open it up, is their 160 watt solar panel. Okay, I'll give you the details on that in a second, but I really want to talk about this today. Now you'll notice a flashing light here. You can see that little flashing internet icon there. One of the coolest things about this is the fact that you can connect to it remotely using EcoFlow's app. I'm going to push that button there. We're already connected. See all the information we need. Okay, you can turn stuff on and off. See, I just turned on the USB. I can turn it off. Watch that little light go off in the middle there. Okay, so right now I have no output, no input. It's just sitting there. I just charged this up in my kitchen from 66% to 100 in half an hour. These things charge incredibly fast. Now, that said, if you have a system with a house with older wiring, you maybe want to just use a solar panel on this. I was drawing anywhere from 17 to 1800 watts input on this device. So I always let people know, you know, just in case you don't want to blow any breakers or anything. This thing is pretty powerful and charges up very quickly. We'll get into a little bit of that in a second, but they do say that this Delta Max will charge up rapidly from 0 to 80% in just 65 minutes. And if you're looking for a faster way to charge it up, you can combine AC with this, okay? So you can use your panels, and plug it in, and both will charge it up at the same time. It is a pass-through device, so I can be charging this while running the AC plugs in back. So there's no worries with that. The reason I like this is because this is basically a 2 kilowatt generator. This has 2 kilowatt capacity. It's expandable up to 6 kilowatts with the Delta Max extra batteries. They're smart batteries. This means when a blackout hits, you can continue to power your most important devices like your fridge, your lights, and stuff like that for hours on end. Let me move this to the side here. I want to make sure I don't knock into anything. I'm going to switch it around for you here. This is your battery imports and inputs and outputs imports. So this is where you'll be connecting. You can connect 2 of the smart batteries, and the smart batteries are kind of similar to this in size. So you can stack one on top, put it in there, one underneath, put it in there, and it acts as a whole entire unit, all 3. That takes you up to 6,048 watt hours, 6 kilowatts, all right? That's a pretty darn impressive thing for something that's what we used to call solar generator. Really impressive, really nice. Let me get that stuff out of the way there so it stops falling. Definitely an item that I am definitely going to be using a lot of. If I need power, let's say in a bedroom, a bathroom, somewhere far away, I can just carry this with me. It is heavy. We'll get into the specs in a bit. But you can carry it. It's not heavy where you can't carry it. They do make the larger unit than this. It's a little bit bigger, and that actually has wheels. It's kind of like those portable fridges I've shown you where you pick it up and you roll it back and forth. It has wheels on the back. This one is definitely carryable. One of the things I do like about this is the amount of information you're going to get on the screen. It may not look it right now, but I love the fact that you have an input and output of watts. So I know if I'm running a light bulb in here that's 100 watts, and my panel is only taking in 60 because it's kind of the end of the day, I know I'm going to start draining down the battery. However, if my panel's pulling in a whole 150 watts, I don't have as much to worry about. So emergency backup power is my main goal for this, and we all know disasters can occur any time of the year. We are going into winter now. There's possibilities of snows, power outages from being overheated, you know. We still have that in part of the country where they're telling us, oh, don't use your energy, don't conserve this, conserve that. We have possibility of rolling blackouts or brownouts if they decide to cut off certain areas in California and unfortunately in part of Nevada now. So having something like this is a really handy device. Now another cool feature of this, I mentioned that it's a pass-through device, but this can be used as an UPS. So with this plugged into the wall, any electronics can be plugged into it, all right? And it will be powered from the grid and not the battery in here. When the grid stops, as in a blackout, the power station automatically switches to battery power within 30 milliseconds. So obviously that's pretty darn quick. You will be able to plug your computers into this. You can keep this under your desk. When the power goes out, boom, right over to battery power. You won't even notice it. So you can connect this up to two 400-watt EcoFlow solar panels to deliver 800 max solar charging speeds. And yes, that will time out. That's okay. So you can do up to 800 watts of solar into this thing without even it blinking. So you'll be just fine. You can even connect regular good old glass, regular everyday solar panels that might be on your roof to something like this, and it will charge it up. It does use the same connectors, so you'll be able to pop them in there. We are going to get into the panel in a second. I'll show you that, but I really want to talk about this first, and then we'll get into that. And then we're going to show you what this thing can power, because I did a test on something in my house that really shocked me. This thing can power it. I don't have anything in my house. Even my backup solar power stuff would probably power it, but not for long. This thing just like nothing. Oh well, 1700 watts, no big deal. And it just powered it. So we'll get into that in a sec. I do have some other stuff I want to test with it on camera with you. Now, they do have the EcoFlow Max smart generator. It can serve as an emergency option and integrates with this Delta Max as well. So it auto starts when the Delta Max hits a certain level of low, and it shuts off once this is a full charge. That's something else to look at on their site. I'm going to give you a link to this and the solar panel for today, but that's something else you can look at. That's really impressive. So EcoFlow is doing some amazing stuff. You know, I have an old EcoFlow River Pro that I think was a 700 or 600 watt power station that can kind of go up to 1600 watts or 1200 watts or whatever. I have been using the heck out of that thing, and I reviewed it, I believe, last year sometime. And I'll tell you, it is the easiest, quickest charging power station that I own. Works really, really well, very handy, and very lightweight too. Now, it doesn't have a lot of ampere watt hours. You know, it's not going to last forever with a high drain device. But for stuff like lighting, I mean, when we test this, we are going to be testing this in the kitchen, and that high drain device, I'll let you in on a little secret, is my microwave. I'm going to be using this to power the lights, so it looks a little better in there, while we run the thing off the back there, the microwave. So definitely impressive item. I really like the fact that this thing can pretty much do anything you need it to do. Within reason, of course, you're not going to charge your Tesla from 0 to 100 using it, but it will charge an electric car to some extent. Maybe a handy thing for you guys to carry around in your trunks. But anyway, definitely a neat little system. So what we're going to do is move on to the panel now. I want to show you the panel, and then we're going to test this out. And then I want to show you the panel in action and how it works, because it kind of confused me at first, because the case is actually the stand as well. So let me get this out of the way, and I'll show you the panel that's behind it. All right, so I kind of have it open here. It's going to look a lot better when we set it up outside, but I wanted to give you some specs and information on it. This is the EcoFlow 160 watt solar panel. This is portable, foldable, weighs about 15 pounds, 7 kilograms to those of you that use the metric system. Okay, it's really portable and easy to use, and you can start capturing solar power in seconds. It does come with the MC4 connectors, and honestly, I'm seeing more and more companies move to MC4 connectors for their solar panels, as far as foldable ones. The traditional ones that are on your roof have been like that for years. The unit itself, you know, the power station does come with cables to plug into that back of the power station to charge it, and it does come with that. It is labeled, because I know these can be a little confusing at times. You do have a plus and a minus on the cables here, so you know you plug the plus into the plus and the minus into the minus, like that. You know, you see red plus plus would go right in there. So it is labeled. You definitely want to try to avoid cross wiring it, but with the cable that comes from EcoFlow, you won't have that problem at all. Perfectly fine. Another nice thing is they give you enough cable. You know, these power stations that come with the solar panels, and they give you like a 4-foot, you know, cable, and your solar, you know, your generator, your unit is actually out in the sun with the panel. I want this thing inside. Well, I got this outside in the bright sunlight. I don't necessarily want it sitting behind there. So that is really neat. It is durable and dust resistant. This has a IP68 rating, okay? So it is water resistant as well. And also, thanks to the seamless one-piece design on this, it's ideal for outdoor activities and camping. It's got an ETFE film on it, so it gives you protection against ultraviolet light, and it will prolong the lifespan of this item, which is really cool out here because I tell people, when you move to the Southwest desert, the sun eats everything. If you park your car outside here for a very long period of time and you're not pretty meticulous about waxing it, you will eventually have flat or white paint on, you know, white color where it's eaten through the clear coat on it. So the sun does destroy almost everything out here. So to have a panel that's that well protected from it, it's really kind of a handy thing to have. The case here, I got the case kind of folded over, you can't see it. The case is actually going to be your kickstand, your tripod, or not tripod, more a kickstand. This is hard back here. This is a hard backing. You'll notice there's carabiners on the end and holes on the end of the panel. Those carabiners are going to fit into the holes. It's going to sit like this and go right into the sunlight. So that is another neat thing. It kind of confused me when I first got it. If you get these and you go, wait a minute, I have to lie this flat on the ground? The sun's coming down this way. I don't want it flat on the ground. I want it pointing towards the sun. The case is your kickstand there that will hold it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up outside. We're going to bring it in. I'm going to bring in the cables. We're going to try and charge up the power station with it. But first, before we do that, I want to run this power station through its paces and try it out with some other stuff and see how well it performs. We want to take a little top off the top of that battery before we try to charge it back up again. So let me get this cleared out of the way, and we're going to test it out with some devices. Okay, really quickly before we start plugging stuff in here, I want to show you the back of the unit. You've seen the front already. These are your 6 plugs. Now again, your rating is cumulative. Not each one of these can do 2,000 watts. It's a total, okay? So you don't want to overload the unit by putting, you know, 1,500 here, 1,500 there, 1,800 there. It does have a very high headroom on it. So you got some headroom on it, but you don't want to go too crazy and overload the unit. So back here, of course, is your 12-volt cigarette lighter plug. All of them are turned on with, whoop, pop that out of there. All of them are turned on with just the push of the button, okay? And turned off like that. You do have your barrel connectors over here for 12 volt, okay? And you have all those plugs, plus you have your charging stuff up here. Okay, when you plug in your wall power, your AC power, you're going to be plugging it in here. Now you can choose, let's say you're worried about it blowing a breaker. Right here is a fast and slow switch. If I want to charge this at a normal or say slow rate, I move it to slow. If I want to charge it at a fast rate, I move it to fast. Now that only works for this one here. This will naturally, with the MPPT controller in here, take as much sun in as it can, so you don't have to worry about that. This is your plug over here for solar. 10 amp max going into it, 800 watts. You got a lot of room there to charge up. So definitely time to start collecting solar panels for this puppy here, because this thing can take 800 watts up to it. So that's very cool. So let's plug some stuff into here and get it going. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you inside to my kitchen, and we are going to plug my microwave into this and show you that this thing can handle it no problem at all. Alright, so we've got it all connected here. Okay. I've got this going. It's showing me 2 days and 13 hours just running on what it is here. Right now I only have 12 outputs coming out of the thing here, the little USB, because that's our studio light, running the light in here. We're going to try the microwave for a minute. I'm going to show you how it works here. Pop that on for a minute, and you see the watts going up there. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit to look at it. I want you to be able to see that really close. And I'm going to take a look here and see, whoops, let's get that ring light out of there. You can't see it. Let me back you out again. Okay, there. You got 1 hour, 7 minutes, 1,600 watts from a dead thing amped up, ramped up there. Okay. You do have your plug there, which is drawing 11 watts. That's your USB. That's my little studio light here, because it's kind of dark in my kitchen. And I do have this on right now. I don't have the X Boost on. This will easily take care of that load. The X Boost will give you a little more of a boost if you're running a device that's really, really powerful. Anyway, that's it right there. You see we got 9 seconds left. Let's go run that for an hour. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, tell me what little power station you've tested that will run your microwave. I'm impressed with it. And the battery is only at 98%. We go back up here, that's 3 days and 16 hours according to the app. So definitely cool. Let's take it outside and let's test it with some other devices that are really high drain devices. All right, especially now because it's summer and we just recently went through a situation in my house where the AC unit had a bad breaker and needed to be replaced. You definitely want to know if something like this can power a window unit. Well, it can. I'm just really impressed with it. Again, one of the nice things about it is when it kicks on, there isn't that whine. Sometimes with the smaller AC window units, there'll be that little, kind of has to get up to speed. This thing, I turn it on, no problem at all. And on top of that, I can keep an eye on my power usage. Again, there's that light on my power usage there. And I'm only at 380, 370 watts because the compressor hasn't kicked in yet. I'm going to turn it up on high speed, okay? And again, using an AC indoor like this is absolutely useless for cooling. You're just going to put out the hot air in the back. I'm just using this as a test bed. When I use it, of course, I put it in a window. I'm sure someone will come along and go, that AC isn't going to work for you. No kidding. So I'm getting about 4 hours here of air conditioning at 405 or 407 watts output. And it is starting to get cold air. I don't know why I said 3. I was looking at the wait 3 minutes before restarting on the bottom of the AC unit. So this is the unit it's powering. I'm just going to move you over. Right there. Okay. But yeah, it's having no problem powering that whatsoever. I mean, if it can do up to like 1800 watts in there with the microwave, it's going to have no problem with this. All right, let's test it out on a few more devices. Then we're going to charge it up with the solar panel, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So I was thinking about devices that have a high draw. And then I thought, oh yeah, toasters. It's hard to come up with stuff. Once these get better and better, you got to think, wow, what draws a ton of power? And that's why we tried the microwave today, because that was really impressive. So let's kick on the toaster here. And there we go, 884, 880 watts. Doing really good. The fan, of course, automatically kicks on this. I will show you the app. Okay. There you go. I got 2 hours worth of toasting I can do. 871 watts there. Again, nothing coming out of the USBs, because now the USBs are powered into another power bank that I use down below. And there you go, 96% battery. I got 2 hours of this I can do before I'm going to be out of luck with toast. Now, of course, you can do it over a fire. You can toast bread a million ways. I'm just showing you this because it's a really good way to show you the drain. Now, next up, I'm going to try my heat gun and see how that does. And then we're going to set up the solar panel and see how it can charge it up. Okay, last test here. I got my heat gun right here. Put it on high. Let's see what it does. 1250, 1244. Just in case you can't see it, we'll show you on here. You can see what it's doing. There we go. So, I had to reconnect it. 12, 29, 28, definitely working. I got 1 hour of a heat gun. Now, I don't really use a heat gun all that often. Probably wouldn't use it, but it will definitely work for your hairdryer. Alright, enough of the testing. Let's get this thing charged up with the solar panel. Alright, I have it really zoomed in here. I'm going to pull back a little bit. I don't have the panels in the best position, and it's still getting 130 watts, 137, 138 watts in. Takes about 1 hour to charge up. Okay, we're at 94%. I'm going to back you out a little bit. There we go, because there was a lot of glare there. Okay, there's my panel setup. That's how we're doing it over there. And as you can tell, that's what you use. I'm going to take you over there and take a look at it. You use the case as kind of a clamshell holder. There you go. See? And you just use the carabiners to lock it in place. Now, I don't have that positioned perfectly. It's a little uneven, but it's still pulling in tons of power, so I really can't complain, trying to not trip over the connectors. So there we go. We're going to let this sit. We're going to let it charge up and see how long it takes to get it up a couple points. I'm not going to go crazy with it. As you can tell, the fan just kicked on in there. I'm trying to keep this out of the sun. This will give you a better idea what's going on here. 94.5 input, 136, and again, I don't have it put in the best of sunlight. It's in the sun. It's not like directed right at it. It's pretty good efficiency. Really can't complain. So there you go. So we're going to let this run for a little bit. I want to see how long it takes to get it up to, I don't know, 97, 96, 98, whatever. However long it takes. and then we're going to wrap up. So in about 20 minutes or so, I was able to go from 94% to 98%. We're just using the solar panel, which I have packed up there. I figured that's good enough. I'm going to probably top it off with the plug. I want to show you the accessories you get, and I'm going to wrap up the video real quick because I know this one ran a little long. We got your plug. This is your plug. There are no wall warts. You just plug this right in there. There's no little things to get hot or anything. Plugs right in the back. You will get a 12-volt plug for your vehicle. Please remember to do this only when your vehicle is running. Otherwise you will drain the battery, especially with a battery this powerful. What you saw me connect there with the MC4 connectors, okay, right to the back of this with the plug under here, okay, and you will get a 12-volt barrel connector that you can connect into any of your other devices. So, all in all, a really powerful system. And it's very funny, last night I was watching it because I was scrolling through channels and I saw EcoFlow on the Home Shopping Network, or one of the Home Shopping Networks, I don't know which one. And I watched it for a little bit, and it was the bigger version of this, the one with the wheels, the larger version. And I was really impressed, and you know, it was interesting to see that being shown on TV. I was like, hey, I know that brand. So I kind of get to give you a little bit of that today here for you. I'm going to give you some final specs on it. You got 15 outlets on this unit, okay? A total of 15 between your USB, your PD ports, your USB-C ports, expanded battery capacity with the smart batteries that connect to the top, you know, or to the side, or however you want to put them. They plug into the side there. I just think of the top and bottom because that's how they show it. Your X-Boost capacity will take you up to 3,400 watts. Okay? So if you need to do something that's 3,400 watts, you can boost this to go up there. Your capacity is 2,016 watt hours, 20 amp outlets, 2,400 watts total with a surge of 5,000 watts. The weight on it, 48 pounds. Yeah, this thing's a little heavy. Dimensions on it are 19 inches by 9 by 12 thick. Your solar charging input, 800 watts. Battery chemistry on this is nickel, cobalt, manganese. That is the same batteries that are being used in a lot of the electric cars. Okay, it isn't lithium iron polymer, lithium iron phosphate. I'm sorry, but it will work very, very well, and you will get a bunch of charges out of this. There's no concern of that at all. So that's the unit. The links will be down below if you want to check it out for both the unit and the solar panel and the bundle together. If you're interested in the bundle, just follow the links and check it out. I'm thinking, you know, for somebody who may not have the ability to run a gas generator, let's say you live in a condo or a co-op and you don't really have anything more than a patio or a porch. Well, this is where your backup power can come from. This can sit nicely in your living room, maybe with a couple extra batteries, if you want to get the smart batteries to upgrade it. You can put 2 or 3 of those panels outside on your porch during emergencies. Normal times, you can just keep it topped off by plugging it in. And you got yourself one heck of a backup power system without the hassle of storing messy gasoline and the danger and the fumes and all that. No issues whatsoever. No oil to change, none of that. It's just nice and electric. So, I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, links will be down below. Check out the links. I'm going to finish up the video so you folks don't hang out with me all day today. Amazon affiliate store down below. This isn't in it, but do check it out. Below that's our freeze-dried wholesaler link. That link will save you 15%. So click on that link and check out what you can get. Definitely time to stock up on food. I have my My Patriot Supply down there. That's preparewithiridium.com. $250 off our 3-month kit this month on my site only, so check it out. Below that is our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. If you are interested in trying Thrive, there's nothing to join. You just go there, grab some food. You will get discounts for becoming a consultant or becoming a delivery customer, but there is nothing to join. Anyway, folks, thanks for hanging with me today. I know this video ran a little long, but this is definitely something worthy of a review like that. Stay safe and stay prepared.